So you guys know what time it is, and no, I am not on my period. It is time to do another 2024 way too early AFL trade rumors update, where this AFL player went to go take a big whopper shit this morning. All you need to know about what is going on with today's AFL trades. And you know what? With these videos, for some reason, I like to start and talking about like a Richmond player and potentially what recent Tiger wants to leave Richmond to go play for the Shanghai Sharks or whoever it might be, right? But in today's video, we've actually got something what the fuck am I trying to say? In today's video, we've actually got something groundbreaking because for the first time in 288.9 years, there is not actually a player to talk about who wants to be traded, more so a player who potentially wants to be traded to Richmond. A recent report actually came out that said Jay Clark has reported that Richmond could be interested in trading for Elijah Sardis from Essendon. The former top 5 pick has been dominating the VFL, but is a long way down the pecking order in the stacked Bombers midfield list. Sardis, however, signed a 2-year extension at the start of the year till the end of 2026. He appears quite happy at Essendon, and given the contract, would be very unlikely to want to leave or for the Bombers to trade him. Again, I also heard there was a rumor he was a Richmond fan as a kid. I'm not completely sure if that's true, even if that really means anything. I mean, it's usually what team kind of holds up the bigger bag of money at the end of the day, right? Or has the best looking AFLW players. Toronto, I know why you came to Richmond. It's not because you thought we were going to win a flag. It's because we got Monique Conti on our fucking team. And look, if I was you, I would have done the same thing. But this would obviously be a very good move for the Tigers, a very bad move for Essendon, because if history has taught us anything, a young, unproven player who was a former top 10 pick, when he is to get traded to another team, the other team never gets the full value that he is actually worth. Again, we don't know if he is going to be a good player in the league. He was taken at pick 5, but obviously he hasn't played like a pick 5 just yet, and there's no way in hell any team would give up a top 10 pick for a bloke who's been in the league 2 years and hasn't played that much football. These type of players always tend to go for like early second round picks to late second round picks. Again, we saw Liam Henry literally like a year ago, was only in a couple years of his Dockers career, a top 10 pick, and he was traded for like, I think, a second round pick. And he has proven a lot more than Elijah Sardis. I also think that Richmond are going to be interested in potentially trying to trade for Ben Hobbs. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually talked to both of those guys and said, look, you're obviously behind a bunch of players. Essendon have a great core midfield of like 8 guys. They still haven't traded Dylan Shield. He's also still getting games over you guys. We want to bring one of you guys in to come and help our young core. Again, if Richmond could trade for Elijah Sardis and offer up a second round pick that's like pick 20 to 22, I would 100% do that if I was the Tigers. If I was the Bombers, well, you got to know and you got to think, is he going to be the guy we think he is? If not, we can cash in and at least get a decent pick back for him, or we can hold on to him. And then if we hold on to him in 2 years, he's either going to be a consistent 22, or we're going to be trading him for pick 50 or delisting him for nothing. That's the reality that Essendon have to face. And that's also a risk that Richmond have to take on potentially trading away a good second round pick for an unproven player who was 2 years into his career. Another report that's been going out is the ongoing Tom Barrass situation, who has had about every single team and their dad be interested in this guy. I think the Bulldogs for the longest time were interested in him. Again, they have desperately needed a key back for so many years, but for some reason Rory Lobb has turned into fucking 206 centimeter Jesus down there and is absolutely dominating the backline of like Buku Karmas and fucking, I think Liam Jones is still playing some pretty goated football. So they're definitely not that bad down back anymore, and that's a big reason why they've been winning a lot of games. Again, will Rory Lobb be able to consistently do this next year? Who knows? Liam Jones will also be like 34 next year. So will he be that consistent? I'm not sure. I think while there is a bloke like Tom Barrass potentially seeking a trade, you should 100% go for him. But unfortunately for them, there is a team that is currently hotter than prime Selena Gomez and Natalie Portman in 2002 Star Wars Attack of the Clones, who is very, very interested in Tom Barrass. A recent report saying Hawthorn is in the hunt for Tom Barrass joining the Dogs, who are prepared to offer at least 5 years for the West Coast defender. Again, there was also a leak out there that didn't actually happen to be my penis. I was pretty happy that it wasn't about me. But a leak out there that actually said that Sam Mitchell was meeting with Tom Barrass in Western Australia, which is pretty crazy. Again, I believe he's got a couple of years left on his contract. Obviously, very important leader to West Coast. A very great player who has been on the verge of All-Australian selection for quite a bit now. Where West Coast are going, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. They're looking at Liam Baker, obviously, because he's a 25-year-old guy who's about to enter his prime. Would be very good for that team. They're also looking to consistently add a bunch more young players, and as we know, might be looking to potentially part ways with a veteran or two. Again, will Andrew Gaff be on the team next year? I don't know. He might be joining the fucking UFC or something. He seems to have some pretty good expertise in that. Will Dom Sheed be in the AFL next year? I don't know. The thing is, if Hawthorn are this interested in Tom Barrass to the point where they've gone over and actually mated with him, met with him would be proper English. This is actually pretty crazy because Hawthorn, again, as I said, are currently one of the hotter teams in the league right now, to the point where they're getting to like Tate McRae hot level. And they have a very good forward line, a very good young midfield. They're just missing a couple of backmen, a couple of key defenders that I think they really want to add. Josh Battle, they have been very much linked to. Apparently that deal might be nearly as good as done for a long time now. They can get him for free because there's no way St Kilda are going to match the deal that they're going to offer him. And St Kilda will be able to get like pick 6 in compensation. And Tom Barrass, if they can get him to the team, it would be very good. If I was them, I would definitely be trading my first round pick this year, which I think they currently hold 10. And I would be looking at trading maybe a future second and their third or something this year. Again, that's not that bad. If you trade up pick 10 and what could be like pick 30 and pick 50, you're doing that for one of the best defenders in the league. And I think West Coast would also look into that because they can add a lot of, I think, obviously young depth to their team. And potentially, if the Dogs want to offer up a deal, it will be a future first round pick because they don't have any picks yet. And if I was them, if I was West Coast, I would rather pick 10 over the Dogs' future first round pick. And that's just me. So this is a great move by Hawthorn. I think they should do it. And if they can add Tom Barrass to this team, obviously add Josh Battle and get Mitch Lewis back from injury hopefully next year. I mean, screw thinking about the top 8. This team could literally be a top 4 contender. Like that team honestly puts hair on my balls, and I'm not even a fucking Hawthorn fan. And the other one, I don't really know how much there is to talk about this because who the fuck knows what's going to be happening here. But it is being said that Melbourne are among Victorian clubs keeping a close watch on Dan Houston's availability on the trade market per Cal Toomey. Yes, Houston is contracted until 2027, but rumours are circling that he may be interested in a move home at the right price. Again, this is a good move for Melbourne because they have a lot of holes right now in their back line, especially with the speed off the half back and just decision making, play making, rebounding off 50, all of that type of stuff. I mean, losing Brayshaw to Braden Maynard's elbow, how the fuck he didn't get suspended for that still pisses me off to this day, was not great. And it's not good. You lose him, you lose a couple other players. I think James Jordan even played some halfback for them as well. It's not good, and they definitely need to add something to that. As it sits right now, though, their pick is probably going to be within the top 10 if they don't make the 8. And you would I would personally prefer to maybe keep that instead of going for Dan Houston. I know that a lot of players' windows are closing, like Max Gawn, etc., etc. But in my opinion, you've actually got a lot of really good young players on this team, and you drafted really well last year. I would honestly just keep adding the young core and young depth to this team if I was them, and hope Clayton Oliver gets back on track and etc., etc. Maybe even go out and draft a key forward this pick. I don't really know. Besides that, there should be some other Victorian clubs that are probably going to look at Dan Houston. I think, as I said, the Doggies are going to be trying to improve their back line. They might be looking for a guy like him. The Hawks are going to try and improve their back line, but they're going to be going after key position players. I don't think Dan Houston is really going to be that. Again, Collingwood could actually maybe look at a guy like Houston, another guy who can run, play, make, and defend, all that type of stuff. But I don't actually know if he gets traded. I mean, he might just stay on Port, but Port are also very interested in players like Harry Perryman from GWS. I don't know if they'll get any of those guys, but we'll have to definitely wait and see. I'd, of course, though, really like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Go and subscribe to my gaming channel, MIRL/Long channels. Links for them will be in the description down below. And yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions on all of these latest AFL trade rumors and news. I'd very much like to know. But yeah, leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.